Let's reflect. Question 1. What is the effect of multiplying both sides of an inequality by a negative number? Explain and give an example. Pause this video, see if you can answer this question, and then we will break it down for you. Give you an example. Here's a possible answer. They put negative 2 is less than 2. Multiply both sides by negative 2. Think about that. So what's negative 2 times negative 2? Positive 4. What's positive 2 times negative 2? Negative 4. There it is. And the inequality symbol has to change. So it's 4 greater than negative 4. The inequality symbol is reversed, as you can see. Let's read the problem below, then explore different ways to solve a two-step inequality. Chang has at most $60 to spend on socks and sneakers. He finds a pair of sneakers that he likes for $36. If socks are $3 per pair, how many pairs of socks could Chang buy? Let's model it. You can write and solve an inequality to understand the problem. The price of the sneakers and socks combined must be $60 or less, right? Because that's all he has, $60 to spend. We know that there's a pair of sneakers that he likes for $36, right? He finds a pair of sneakers that he likes for $36. So that's information that's there, okay? And we know that each pair of socks is $3. So we do 36 for the price of the sneakers plus for however many pairs of socks he can buy at $3 per pair. It's going to be less than or equal to 60. Right? Must be less than or equal to 60 because Chang has $60 in total. So now we're going to combine this and write it in inequality. There it is. Now let's solve this two-step inequality. I'll use a flowchart here, but let's do it here first. So get rid of the constant first. This is positive 36, so we're going to subtract 36 from both sides of the inequality. 36 minus 36 cancels each other out. It's 0. We're left with 3p. 60 minus 36 gives us 24. Okay. 3 times what is 24? We're going to use the inverse operation of multiplication, which is division. 3 divided by 3 will give us 1p. And then 24 divided by 3 is 8. We do not flip the symbol on this one. Okay, we should always check our work, by the way, to see if it makes sense. But we should not reverse the inequality symbol because we're not dividing by a negative number. Let me now use a flowchart so you guys can see that using a flowchart. So we're looking for p. P is on the left side of the equation, and the symbol is going to be less than or equal to. What happens to p first? Times 3, right? What happens to it next? Plus 36. What is the output? It's 60, right? That's the total amount he has. Backtrack. Minus 36. Minus 36, we got 24. 24 divided by 3. It's not divided by negative 3, so the symbol stays the same. 8. There it is. Okay? And let's plug in a value here. Let's plug in, let's say, 6. What's 3 times 6? 18. 36 plus 18. Is that going to be less than 60? The answer to that is yes. Because 36 plus 18 gives us 54. So 54 is less than or equal to 60. So you can buy 7 pairs of socks if he wants to. Right? The most he can buy is 8. He can't buy 9. He won't have enough money for that. Let's see how we can graph this solution on a number line. The inequality p less than or equal to 8 means all values less than or equal to 8. However, in this situation, only whole numbers make sense. Think about that. You cannot buy a fraction of a pair of socks or a negative number of pair of socks. You can't buy a negative 1 pair of socks. You can't buy 1.3 pairs of socks, right? So notice how they graphed it. 8 is the maximum he can pay. Obviously, you can buy. You can buy 7. You can buy 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, or he can buy 0. He doesn't have to buy any, but he cannot buy negative. So all the numbers to the left of 8, except the negative ones, because of this situation. Now let's connect it all. Now you will look at the solution and graph to analyze and interpret the inequality. Question 2. What does the inequality statement in model it mean? If you don't remember what the model it is, you got to go back and check it out. Right here. Right? Model it. You can pause this video at any time. Question 3. List the steps for solving this two-step inequality using the terms constant and coefficient. Question 4. Explain why the numbers between each whole number are not a part of the solution set. And we talked about that. Just think about that. Question 5. According to the graph, what is the complete solution set for the inequality? Why are negative 1 and negative 2 not in the solution set? Question 6. How do you graph the solution set of an inequality when that set includes only whole numbers? I would pause this video, answer all these questions to the best of your ability, and then when you unpause, we will go over them one by one, and you can check your answers to make sure you understand this. Let's look at question 2. What does the inequality statement in model it mean? Well, there's many possible answers. The cost of the sneakers plus the cost of buying P pairs of socks, we don't know how many, must be equal to or less than $60, because that's how much money he has. Question 3. List the steps for solving this two-step inequality using the terms constant and coefficient. Well, again, possible answers. First, subtract the constant from both sides of the inequality, right? The inverse of operations. Then divide both sides by the coefficient. Okay? In that case, will be 3. You can go back and check how it worked in this video. Question 4. Explain why the numbers between each whole numbers are not a part of the solution set. Well, pairs of socks are represented only by whole numbers. Fractions, decimals, and negative numbers don't make sense in the context of this problem, or of the problem. You cannot buy a fraction of a sock. According to the graph, what is the complete solution set for the inequality? And the answer is obviously 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You cannot go past 8. Cannot go below 0. Why are negative 1 and negative 2 not in the solution set? Well, negative numbers don't work in this. Think about that. You can't buy negative pairs of socks. Question 6. How do you graph the solution set of inequality when that set includes only whole numbers? The solution set is shown on the number line with closed circles. Only on the whole numbers that are part of the solution. Closed circles. Closed circles. Not in between. Now we're going to ask you to try it. Use what you just learned about inequalities to solve these problems. Show your work on a separate sheet of paper. Once you have the answers to both of these questions, pause the video and then unpause it to check your answers. Question 7. Students in the garden club are planting a spring of flowers garden in town square. They have already spent $80 of the $200 budget. Think about that for a second. Write and solve an inequality to show how many $30 packs of bulbs they can buy. And then question 8, draw a number line and graph the solution set. So again, pause this video, take your time, read the question carefully, see what's given, see what information is given, and then understand what's being asked. Obviously, the first thing, know the scenario. Question 7, hopefully you got this. 80 plus 30p has to be less than or equal to 200. Okay, and then when you start simplifying it and solving it, you have 30p is less than or equal to 120, which means p has to be less than or equal to 4. Okay, let's do this out. going to do my best to explain this to you. Okay? Let's use the color green. Students in the garden club are planting a spring flower garden in the town square. Alright, we know the scenario. They've already spent $80. So that $80 is something they've already spent. That's gone. Right? That $80 is gone. Of the $200 budget, think about it, the total amount they have to spend, or their budget, is $200. I'm going to put the 200 here. Okay, well, just like they did. I'm just going to try to write it the way they did here, so I don't confuse anyone. There's the $200. Now, write and solve an inequality. Remember, less than, greater than, or equal to, etc. To show how many $30 packs of bulbs they can buy. Well, if they buy one, that's $30. If they buy two, that's $60. If they buy three, etc. They use P, okay, for the packs of bulbs because of the packs. So you got the $80 they already spent, plus the $30 per packs of bulbs, and this amount has to be less than or equal to 200 because that's their budget. So I hope you guys understand how I came up with that. Okay, let's use a flowchart to solve this. Okay, P on the left side of the inequality, less than or equal to. What happens to P first? Times 30. What happens to it after? Plus 80. And we know the total of the output here will be 200. Now we're going to solve this. Backtrack. 200 minus 80 will give us 120. And then 120 divided by 30. Divided by 30. Do I have to reverse the inequality symbol? No, because I'm not dividing by a negative number. So 120 divided by 30 is 4. That's why I answer is P is less than or equal to 4. And then I'm going to check my work. If I plug in 4 for P, I'd get exactly 200. Right? But if I plug in 3, that means it's $90 plus the 80, which gives me 170. If I plug in 2, if I plug in 1, think about that. Can I plug in 0? Yes. Can I plug in negative 1? Think about that. That's a hint for question 8. Let me now show you how to solve this traditional way. Get rid of the constant first. Whatever I do to one side of the inequality, I must do to the other. 80 minus 80 is 0. You're left with 30p. It's less than or equal to 120 because 200 minus 80 is 120. So this inequality is right up here. And then 30 times what is 120? The inverse operation of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by 30. I'm going to divide by 30. And then I have P is less than or equal to 4. And again, I would plug numbers in just to double check my work, just like we did. If you're still confused on this, I would stop this video and go back and then rewatch it. Now, let's graph this solution set. So pay attention. First off, you cannot and must not graph inequalities unless the variable is by itself. See how the variable is by itself here? Then you can graph it. The variable is not by itself here. You cannot graph. Definitely the variable is not by itself here. You cannot graph that, or you should not. You should always graph the inequalities when the variable is by itself on one side of the inequality. And look what they did. And let's go over this. Okay? If you can't see those dots, I'm going to show it to you in red. Oops. Not that. Okay. Oops. Okay. Alright. 4. Because you can have 4, right? Less than or equal to. 3. You can have 3. You can buy 3. 2. You can buy 2. You can buy 1. You can buy 0. Notice they did not graph that. Notice they did not put a line in between them. Because you cannot buy a pack of, let's say, 1.3 pack of bulbs, right? You can only buy 1, 2, 3, 4. Or more, obviously. But in this case, you cannot have more because your budget is 200. Hopefully this makes sense. If it doesn't, again, pause the video, go back, and retry those, or re-watch these.